Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, I'm going to be offering some buyer beware and things you need to know about the brand new technical custom that was just added into Grand Theft Auto Online. So these are things, in my opinion, that I would want to know before purchasing a vehicle like this because it's pretty pricey to get this thing to where you want it to go, and obviously I don't want you guys wasting your money. Now, speaking about those two things, I am going to be doing a shark card giveaway. I'm handing out $1.25 million to one lucky person. That giveaway is going to be ending on Friday, so you've still got a couple days to enter. I'll leave a link to that in the description. It's happening on my Twitter. All you have to do is retweet and follow me. That's it. And I'll be selecting the winner on Friday, which should cover most of the cost, if not all of it, for the technical custom. So let's talk about the technical custom, and the first thing we need to address today is price. So if you don't own a technical, it's actually been moved up on the Warstock cash and carry site. Same with the Insurgent. So Rockstar is kind of prepping for that to be released, and its price is $950,000, so just shy of $1 million. Now, once you get the vehicle, you actually have to bring it to the mobile operation center. So the only way in which you can take advantage of this vehicle is if you own an MOC. I've actually seen this concern from a couple people so far where they're enjoying the gun running stuff, but they don't have a mobile operation center. You won't be able to enjoy this vehicle unless you have a mobile operation center. So that could also significantly add to the price of this vehicle if that is something you want to enjoy. But regardless, let's assume that you do own a mobile operation center, because I would imagine many of you guys do. You have to bring the vehicle there and you have to upgrade it. And that upgrade is going to cost $142,500, bringing our grand total to over $1.1 million, which is pretty pricey. That's on the line of some supercars and high-end sports cars for this vehicle. And then, of course, once you get it inside the mobile operation center, you'll have to upgrade a lot of the things you want, like armor, brakes, transmission, turbo, adding new wheels, adding window tints. So there's going to be a lot more you can do, probably $200,000 to $300,000 more worth of upgrading. And then that brings us to the next thing you guys need to be aware about, and that is that the technical custom has 4 things that are required for research. One of them is a 7.62 millimeter minigun. Another one is the heavy chassis armor, which is actually pretty interesting. We'll talk about that in a little bit. The next one is the ram bar, and then the final one is the brute bar, which are both grill options for the vehicle itself. So those right there are research items that you have to fast track if you want to enjoy them anytime today. If not, it's going to be about a week before you'll be able to get all the upgrades for the technical. So I would imagine you guys are all going to want to fast track them. And if you do, it's going to cost you $225,000 each time you want to upgrade. Times 4, that's putting us really close to another $1 million. So when you think about it, when it's all said and done, this vehicle is going to cost you over $2 million to get it fully upgraded and the way you want. And as we touch on some of the features going forward, you might not necessarily find that worth it. So let's talk about why you might not necessarily find it worth it. And let's start with the armor of this car. So you actually have 3 different options for the armor. You have light, medium, and heavy. And you would think that the heaviest one would maybe provide some better protection or some better explosive or bullet resistance. Well, it turns out that that is not the case. So the light armor, the medium armor, and the heavy armor, number 1, have no differences except for their cosmetics. So we're going to do a quick test here where we throw some sticky bombs on them. And I tested it with a player in the vehicle and with a player out of the vehicle. It doesn't matter. It blows up with 1 sticky bomb. So it has the same protection as a normal car that you would find on the side of the road. So to me, that is a huge disappointment with this vehicle, that it has absolutely 0 armor protection. So anyone with a rocket, an RPG, an oppressor can just blow you up instantly in this car. And then same thing goes for the bullet resistance. This vehicle does not come with bullet resistant windows. You can shoot through it instantly with any weapon. And it also doesn't have any effect on the armor. So the heavy armor, you can shoot right through it. The light armor, you can shoot right through it. The medium, you can shoot straight through it as well. So the armor does not have any protection against any bullets or anything like that. So you are essentially a sitting duck inside this vehicle. And honestly, it doesn't make sense to upgrade the armor because of the visual impairment in first person. The only reason in which one would want to upgrade the armor is if they wanted a different cosmetic look, which don't get me wrong, it does look cool, but as far as being practical, it doesn't provide any useful upgrades to this vehicle in terms of stopping bullets or explosives or anything along those lines. So now let's say you find yourself on the wrong end of a situation like this and you have to make a claim for your technical custom. Well, luckily it's not all that bad. The price is $13,656 if you do end up blowing up your own or if you blow up someone else's. So do keep in mind, if you destroy this vehicle, even if it is someone else's, you will end up paying the Moore's Mutual insurance fee, just like all the other vehicles added from gun running, like the Oppressor, the APC, the Half Track, vehicles like that. Now, we've talked about some of the defensive differences of this vehicle. Let's talk about some of the more offensive ones, starting with the gun. So there's only one gun upgrade option. There's a machine gun and then a 7.62 minigun. And we tested this out, and the only thing that we could find is that the minigun ended up having a faster fire rate. So I guess that means it would be more powerful. The way we tested the bullets, they worked the exact same. There was no difference as long as you hit like one after another. But because you're able to put out more rounds with the minigun, it's definitely an upgrade in terms of damage that you can do to other players or vehicles or anything that you're shooting at. However, one interesting thing that we found is if you point the gun backwards, you'll actually get a speed boost inside the technical custom. Now, what's even more interesting about this is we tested the two miniguns, and it turns out the non-upgraded one, the default one, will actually give you more of a speed boost. Now, I'm not sure why this is the case, and I have no clue how one would figure this out. But it works very similarly to the weaponized Tampa, and if you turn the minigun backwards and you drive, you'll actually get a significant speed boost. Now, what's pretty great about this is because you can have someone else do it, you can still drive forward and maneuver your way around traffic, so it isn't a big deal as far as that goes. But I thought that was pretty interesting that the non-upgraded gun will give you a more significant speed boost. Like I said, I'm not sure how often you guys will use this sort of trick or how convenient you might ultimately find it, but I thought that that was a pretty interesting detail on this vehicle, the new technical custom. All right, the next thing we need to talk about is the upgrades to the grille. There's two of them, the Ram Bar and the Brute Bar. Now, there's no difference between these two as far as the wedge goes. You're getting the same wedge. There's no upgrade there. The only difference you'll see is more closer to the bumper, the grille, and the headlights. However, a lot of people might assume that this is a wedge similar to what you see on the Phantom Wedge and the Dune Buggy, where it either has the ability to flip someone or to drive straight through them. And that is not the case on the technical custom. So what separates the Phantom Wedge and the Ramp Buggy is a script that allows it to flip cars. That's what actually does the flipping, not the wedge itself. And unfortunately, the technical custom does not get that upgrade. So even though sometimes when you're driving, you will be able to like sort of push someone out the way, or they might fly over your car because you're able to get under them, most of the time that's not going to happen. In fact, it's quite the opposite, where many times because the technical is such a light pickup truck, the exact opposite will happen. You'll ultimately take more damage from a collision than the other person, especially if it's NPCs that are chasing you or if it's someone like the police. They're going to have a way better ramming power than you. Okay, moving on. Another cool feature of the technical custom is when you purchase it, it actually becomes a personal vehicle. Now, this is awesome for a couple reasons. So when you buy it, it ends up going into one of your garages. I think it takes like the first open space. For me, it was in my office garage, but this is great for a couple reasons. Number one is you can call it in via the mechanic option or via the vehicle section on the interaction menu. Thus, you can be able to get it to spawn in right next to you instantly as compared to the Pegasus vehicle option. Because it is a personal vehicle, you can now sell it. Now, I have heard some people talking about, well, couldn't this just be abused as a money glitch? No, you only get 60% of the upgrade fee. So not the cost of the technical, not 60% of the technical, but 60% of $142,500. So it's actually not all that much money. So there's no way in which you could glitch it in order to make money just by selling multiple of these. But it is nice that if you want to get rid of it, you at least do have the option. And speaking of the Pegasus option, it also also does not replace the regular technical Pegasus. It actually kind of duplicates it and adds the custom variant to it. So if you go to the Pegasus list on your phone, you will still find the technical there. You can still call it in. And then if you want to go to your mechanic, you can call in the technical custom and that will arrive completely separately. So they are individuals, they are separate entities, they are not connected in any way whatsoever, and they are completely separate as far as how you call them in. Now, another great feature of these being personal vehicles is that you can actually use them in both contact missions and in heist. We actually saw this pretty cool when the gun running update first came out, how you could use stuff like the half-track dune loader and the weaponized Tampa and heist because they are also personal vehicles. Well, the same thing applies for the technical custom. So I don't recommend it because it's not all that great of a vehicle, but at the end of the day, if you want to use them in heist missions, you totally can, and it could be a nice viable option for contact missions too. And the last thing we need to talk about the technical custom is it can haul things. So trailers that you find, but probably the most significant one would be the anti-aircraft trailer that was added with gun running. You can hook it to the back and you can drive it around, which is another pretty great use for this vehicle. As of right now, there aren't a ton of great vehicles that are available to haul one of the anti-aircraft trailers or other trailers in general. So that's another nice upgrade for the technical custom. Now, let me give you guys my final opinion. Would I buy this vehicle? My answer to that is no. It has a lot of research items that I don't particularly enjoy doing. It's not armor resistant. It's not bullet resistant. At the end of the day, it's just a technical with a few extra upgrades. The technical was never that good to begin with. And we know that the Insurgent custom pickup is going to be coming out soon, which is going to basically be the better version of this. So honestly, I would recommend saving your money here unless you really want this car and you find it fascinating and fun. It is a cool vehicle, don't get me wrong, but because we know there's a better one coming out later, it almost feels as if this vehicle is just a waste of money and Rockstar is just waiting to release the better one, hopefully maybe next week or in a couple weeks from now. But anyways, that's all the information I've got for you guys in this video today regarding some buyer beware and things you need to know about the new technical custom in Grand Theft Auto Online. Let me know your thoughts, opinions, and more on this vehicle in the comments section down below. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. If you did go and enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. Without the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.